Good morning, basketball fans, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be talking about the NBA week and all the big storylines that has happened, as I think that these storylines and all this are very significant for the NBA and for the season, and even into the future and all that. I'll be talking about Anthony Davis and his trade request, the Porzingis trade, the Kyrie rumors, the All-Star selections, and a couple games that occurred this week. Well, first of all, I think I'll start with the All-Stars, actually. See how I did, and if they deserved it and all that, my thoughts on that. So for me, my picks were actually pretty solid. I mean, in the West, I pretty much got everyone except for DeRozan. For Aldridge instead of DeRozan, which I'm cool with that. I prefer DeRozan as a Spurs fan because he I think he's played better overall this season, and I don't know, he's just more fun to watch and all that. And maybe because I feel like Aldridge should probably be the last pick in the draft, and that kind of I feels kind of embarrassing to me. Even though yes, I love Aldridge and all that. I don't know, like he's not very fun to watch. I love him, but he won't be like a big star or anything in the All-Star game. But yeah, that's what I had there. I had Westbrook, Dame, Clay, Davis, Jokic, and then DeRozan, and Cad. And I just had Aldridge instead of DeRozan. I had DeRozan instead of Aldridge. Then in the East, I was still pretty solid. And see, I said I was right on Ben Simmons, Bradley Beal, Griffin, Middleton, Nikola Vucevic, Oladipo. I mean, like, the only thing I got wrong was, like, a Lowry instead of Jimmy Butler, which I'm cool with that, obviously. I don't think Philly really deserves 3 All-Stars, but I just gave it to Jimmy because I think he's one of the top players in the league, top 20. And then, for Oladipo, they put in D'Angelo Russell for his injury replacement. And I agree with that, honestly. I made my picks about a week ago-ish. And looking back and thinking about it, I think he does deserve to be there. He's had a very nice season. He's averaging around 20 points per game. Nets are 6th in the East in the playoffs, so I think he deserves it. I'm very cool with that. And, yeah, I can't really hate on the picks, really. Like, yeah, obviously the East is a lot weaker. Talking about All Stars, because like I don't think Vucevic would make it over here. I don't even know if D'Angelo Russell or Kyle Lowry will make it in the West. But for the East, I cannot hate on the list. For the West, that's pretty much who I picked except for switching out the Spurs stars. I was thinking about how Luka Doncic and Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell were snubbed. But honestly, for Luka Doncic, he's had a hell of a season. But Mavericks aren't in the playoffs. Which, not really his fault. His team's not great. But I wouldn't really put him in over these other guys who are in the playoffs and playing well. And yeah, I put Cat over Doncic. Even if the Timberwolves aren't in the playoffs and that's a better team. He's played better. And for Rudy Gobert, I see what he's talking about here. Because he's averaging around 15 points per game-ish. And he's the leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year back-to-back. I get what he's talking about with the, what he said that this shows the fans that the NBA doesn't really care about defense. And I feel like there's some truth to that. Because you don't really want defense at the All-Star game, Like, the All-Star game about scoring, really. Obviously, like, in the years past, there were too much scoring, as of recently. That's why they changed the format to add in more competitive, competitiveness, and yeah, there's a little more defense. I mean, the game-winning play last year was defense by LeBron and KD on the sideline. But honestly, just looking at the list, I mean, what I said, Westbrook, Dame, Davis, Clay, and Jokic are pretty much locks to me. That's pretty easy. And I put Cat over him. And then, like, it's coming to, like, the Spurs stars, DeRozan or Aldridge. I'd pick either one over him, honestly. And then I think Tobias Harris is more worthy of being an all-star than he is. But yeah, I still have the Spurs stars, like, over those two guys. And Donovan Mitchell, he struggled on early, and he probably deserves to be an all-star. But still, Aldridge and DeRozan have had I've had really good seasons. So maybe just wait your turn, maybe next year. And in the East, I don't really see any snubs. I like the East All Stars here, even though yeah, it's weaker, but I'm solid with that. And it should be a fun All Star game. This was a hell of a move by the NBA to give like legacy selections to Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki, because they'll probably retire. Wade's gonna retire after this year. Dirk probably will. Maybe he'll go one more year, but just in case they're giving it to him now. That's incredible. I think it brings more, makes the All-Star game more interesting, and gives two surefire Hall of Fame players one more trip to the All-Star game to like honor them and honor their career. And yeah, they easily they deserve it. Like, they're both surefire Hall of Famers, champions. Hell of a move. I love it. I mean, it's not. I was lucky. It's not taking away a selection from someone else. It's not like you're gonna put Cat out of the All-Star game, which is insane. Cat over Dirk. So it's a very good move. I love it. Makes it more interesting. So I'll next be talking about Anthony Davis and his trade request and how that's all gone down. For me, his trade request was not too surprising. Like, the team is terrible, and they lost Boogie over in the offseason. And I mean, they got Randall, but he's not a star or anything like that. And they're out of the playoffs. They've been struggling. So for me, yeah, it makes sense why he'd want out. But he really picked the worst time to do it, honestly. Like, I just feel for the city of New Orleans after the pass interference miss call in the Saints-Rams championship game. And then Anthony Davis asked for a trade. Like, damn, I just feel bad. But honestly, it makes sense. I see what's talking about here. Yeah, choosing the legacy and championships and all that over money. Good move, especially because he's already getting paid a ton in shoe deals and commercials, stuff like that. He's a superstar, so I'm cool with that. But now it depends like where he's going. Because the Lakers making a big push here, but I'd be surprised if he goes there, especially with Boston on the outskirts looking in. Because Boston can't trade for him unless they trade Kyrie for him, or trade Kyrie then trade for Davis, and I don't think they do that. So honestly, if I'm the Pelicans, I'm just standing pat. I'll wait for the off season, and yeah, I'll look for the best deal. Because really, like the top 3 packages, I think, will be for Zion Williamson, or just the first pick. And then, like, whatever the Lakers have with Kuzma and Zubac, Lonzo, Ingram, and their picks. And there's Boston. I think Boston probably has the best package because you'll probably get a surefire, like a future All Star most likely in Jason Tatum. Maybe they get Jaylen Brown, who looks sensational as well. He's had a bit of a down year, but we saw what he can do in the playoffs. Maybe Rozier, who I love, but I don't think he and Kyrie don't really work well together. But I'm not really sure. I'm not a Boston fan or anything like that. So and then their picks, which are pretty good. So I think if I'm the Pelicans, I'll wait for either the first pick or Boston package centered around Jason Tatum. That's what I'd wait for Anthony Davis. And right now, I'd trade everyone. I'll probably trade Drew Holiday, Nikola Mirotic. Honestly, I'd probably keep Randall because he's a young, exciting player. Maybe you can pair him with someone for next year with Tatum or Zion. So that I think they should probably keep him. But yeah, for me, Mirotic is as good as gone, and then Drew Holiday probably gone too. He's a bit older too. And yeah, I think those are really my thoughts. I mean, this was when it first came out. This was huge. But looking at it, like Pelicans are gonna stand pat. Why would they trade him to the Lakers right now? Because that package will still be there in the offseason. And then you get more options with the first pick in Boston. So, they should just wait, and they probably will from what I'm hearing. And all that about Anthony Davis not wanting to go to the Boston Celtics. I feel like if you're Boston, you should probably do this. I mean, maybe he'll leave, maybe he won't, but just like I don't understand why he doesn't want to go there. I saw like the whole Isaiah Thomas thing about loyalty and all that. But really, I don't really agree with Isaiah Thomas too much here. Because come on, when I first heard that Celtics and Cavs are talking about trading for Kyrie, I'm thinking, you trade Kyrie for Isaiah Thomas straight up. And maybe give him the pick or whatever. And that's a hell of a deal. Because Kyrie is at least twice as good as Isaiah Thomas will ever be. Especially now with his hip injury. And yes, it's unfortunate. It's sad for Isaiah Thomas. But it was a good move. And now, if AD is traded there, you got one of the best front offices in the league, the best young coach in Brad Stevens. And Kyrie, if they get AD, he'll probably stay. So one of the best top 10 players in the NBA, in my opinion. So you have AD and Kyrie. Probably keep Jaylen Brown, maybe Rozier. Morris is a championship caliber starter on a team. Aaron Baines looks good. They got Robert Williams as a rookie. Horford. So they still look hella good even without Tatum, Rozier, those guys. So I don't really understand why you wouldn't want to go there. But either way, I think Boston should try to make a push for him. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, yeah. And now for the Kristaps Porzingis trade. This was a terrible move for New York. Honestly, this is sensational for the Mavs. They got rid of Wes Matthews, who's been a disappointment from coming off that injury. And they got rid of Dan Smith Jr., who they were looking to get out of anyway, with the Luka emerging. And DeAndre Jordan, I mean, he's on a 1-year deal. He might leave anyway. So, I don't know. I guess they just had to throw him in there because he's a... Because I think he's been an all-star before and all that. I mean, he's like a mini star, I'd say, especially on defense. But so that's a hell of a deal. Pairing Doncic with Porzingis next year, they could be sensational, if they keep building up that team, if Dirk stays for championship caliber, he's a championship caliber player, and experience and leader, veteran, all that. So if they keep building up the team, they could be a serious contender. They can really probably do some damage in the playoffs. And so I love the deal for Dallas. Hell of a deal for Dallas. That was highway robbery, I think, taking Porzingis. And now for the Knicks. Knicks are stupid. I get what they mean, because now they have 2 max slots for 2 players, for 2 star players, pretty much. You can get, at third, they're confident they'll get KD. Maybe Kyrie or Butler would come along too. I'm not sure yet. Even Kawhi could see coming to New York. So I get what they mean, but come on, man. Everything the Knicks do seems to go wrong. If they don't get KD or Kawhi or Kyrie at least, this trade is a massive disappointment. You just trade away your franchise star for essentially someone you could have drafted, Dennis Smith Jr., and someone who might leave next year in DeAndre Jordan. So now you have all this cap space, and what you gonna do with it? If you don't get anyone, that's a massive disappointment. Also, I feel this was the biggest mistake from the Knicks. So Anthony Davis asked to be, not Anthony Davis, Porzingis pretty much didn't ask, but he made it known that he would prefer to be traded and stay there, essentially. And around 30-40 minutes later, he's traded. Come on, New York. Was this really the best you could get? Dennis Smith Jr., Wes Matthews, and DeAndre Jordan for Porzingis and Tim Hardaway Jr., Courtney Lee. Those are decent players right there. Hardaway Jr. he's no scrub. So if I'm New York, you have to wait. You can't trade him in 30 minutes. Because you'll get some good packages. Damn. Like, Toronto could give you Pascal Siakam. And maybe their pick from next year, and someone else maybe. And I feel like that's a better deal than what the Mavs gave you. Because Siakam looks like a future star. He could have been an all-star this year, honestly. That could have been a nice deal for them. And then maybe could have gone Anthony Davis over here. Because I heard Davis was like, trade me to the Knicks for Porzingis. And that's a solid deal for the Pelicans. I'm not mad with that. If they get the pick in Porzingis for AD, that's a solid swap there. And you've already got a star. You still have max. And you still have a max slot for next year to get KD or whoever. So I can't agree with this deal for New York. If they do get KD or something like that, then it's a pretty solid deal. But right now it looks terrible. So those are my thoughts on that. And now for the Kyrie Irving situation. So right now it looks like there's been a lot of rumors and reports and stuff like that maybe he doesn't want to sign with the Celtics. That I think the front office said there's growing uncertainty that Kyrie will re-sign here next year. But if you get Davis, he'll stay for sure. Why would you leave Anthony Davis? That does not make sense. And I mean, I think they can pay him. They got a lot of guys on rookie deals, so he'll still probably get his cash if that's what he's looking out for. And like I was saying about Anthony Davis, one of the best front offices in the league, best young coach in the league, a team with a lot of talent. You're the best player on that team. You can make a serious championship run here. But yeah, he seems unhappy with the young players. And we all heard about that. They called LeBron to apologize. And all that. So I feel like, for my thoughts on this, the Celtics have a solid chance to keep him. Especially if they go deep in the playoffs. But I wouldn't rule out New York or LA for him. I could see him reuniting with LeBron. I can see him going to Kyrie. I mean, going to the Knicks. So I mean, if I'm a Celtics fan, I'm a bit worried. But if you make a deep run in the playoffs, maybe even get to the finals, you get Anthony Davis. I think you're looking pretty there. So it could be interesting, but right now, I wouldn't be all that worried. I'd be concerned, but not worried. So now there were two big games yesterday, no, 2 days ago, with the Golden State Warriors and Philadelphia 76ers. I thought this is a great measuring stick for the Sixers to see what they can do against the defending champs and the unanimous favorites and all that in the playoffs. And they played. I didn't watch the game, but I was watching some of the highlights, and I saw the score and the stats and all that. And what it looked like to me that I mean, Klay Thompson wasn't there for the Warriors, but Steph Curry dropped 40. KD, I think, did well, 20-ish points, I believe. And they got Draymond and Cousins. And yeah, we know what they can do. So this was massive for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think Ben Simmons had around 20 points. And Embiid had 25 plus points as well. So they played very well. They beating Golden State on their home floor by 10-ish points, pretty much controlling most of the game from what I heard. They're pretty massive for a young team like Philly. And Jimmy Butler, I think, got around 10-ish points, so he didn't have a big night or anything like that. These were the young guys showing up and playing very well when they needed it. And yeah, I think they show they can do some stuff in the playoffs. I don't like their depth. They don't have that much shooting. I heard they're going after Dwayne Dedmon from Atlanta, who could help them at the center position, backing up Mr. Joel Embiid. And he's got some range too. Does Dedmon? So if they make a couple moves, maybe get someone on the buyout market. They look like they can make a bit of a run. In the East, it's really with Oladipo going down. Which our prayers up for him to get back healthy next year. It's Milwaukee's number one with Giannis, Middleton, Coach Bud, all that. They look sensational. Toronto's number two with Kawhi, Lowry, Siakam, Danny Green, all of that. We know what they can do. And then there's Boston with all that talent, and Tatum and Brown, Stevens, Kyrie, obviously their best player, and Philly. And so it's those four teams that can make that have serious championship aspirations here. I think Milwaukee's the favorite right now for me. How they played all season. Giannis looking like MVP caliber player. Middleton's an all-star. Bledsoe looks good. Coach Bud has been a revelation for Giannis and that team. They can shoot the three. They can defend. They're the favorites for me, especially if they get the number one seed. And court advantage in the playoffs. And Toronto, right now for them, it looks like they're not great at shooting a three. And Kawhi, obviously injury prone. He's missed a good amount of games this year. Says he wants to stay healthy for the playoffs. I don't know if I believe that. And obviously Lowry's been banged up too. Siakam looks really well. Looks really good. If Siakam can play well in the playoffs, they have a serious chance to do damage. But we'll see how that goes. And obviously Danny Green's big time. Van Fleet. What's his face? OG Anunoby. And so it looks solid. I still like Milwaukee over them right now, but we'll see how it goes. And obviously Boston with all that talent. And Kyrie. If they get together, I'm not sure anyone can really stop them. If Gordon Hayward can figure it out for the playoffs, they could be unstoppable. But we'll see. I still give the other teams a chance. Especially without home court advantage for them. And then Philly, if they can do maybe a trade, maybe get something for Fultz, and in the buyout market, maybe go for Dwayne Dedmon or Mirotic, get more shooting. They could be some serious contenders here. I think Jimmy will stay. I could see him going to the Knicks, but I'm not sure. Well, I don't know why he'd go there alone. That doesn't make sense to me. If KD goes or Kyrie, maybe he'll team up with them. But we'll see. For right now, it looks like if I had to predict it, I think he'd stay as of right now with Embiid and Simmons and a good coach, solid front office. So they look good. So yeah, in the East, it's those four teams. Should be very interesting. We saw Milwaukee take down Toronto pretty handedly. Milton had a good game. Giannis did well, even though he had some foul trouble. Bledsoe played well. Lopez can space the floor. But yeah, essentially those are my thoughts on this incredible NBA week. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, comment in the towel section below. Thank you for watching. Go Spurs, go.